Good morning. This was the slide we left a few days back, maybe on Saturday. So Sunday was holiday, Monday, Tuesday, 2 days gap, and today Wednesday. Once again, we are joining online. So this slide shows the utility or the application or the uses of hydrogen chloride in the form of salt, as well as hydrogen chloride in the form of an acid in water. Okay, so aqueous solution of hydrogen chloride is an acid. Okay, right. This all point we studied. Now today's point of discussion is this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is today's point of discussion. That is oxo acids of halogens. I told already some similar topics will continue. Oxo acids of nitrogen, oxo acids of sulfur, oxo acids of halogens. Hmm? So, anomalous behavior of the first member. All these topics will repeat. Hmm? Trends also. Okay, right. So, let us start today's session on oxo acids of halogens under the main chapter P block. Okay, right. Halogens form several oxo acids. Okay, and here is a table that I have taken from the textbook. Okay, so general formula I wrote HOX, HXO2, HXO3, HXO4. X is any halogen. Okay, it may be a fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine, excluding radioactive time. Okay, right. So, accordingly, I have written in what OS halogen is in the respective oxo acids. Okay, if it is HOX type, all are called as hypohalous acid. If it is fluorine, hypofluorous, hypochlorous, hypobromous, hypoiodous. And for the general formula HXO2, they are called as halous acid. Okay. For example, fluoric acid, chloric acid, bromic acid, fluorous acid, chlorous acid, bromous acid, iodous acid, and so on. Okay. And for the formula HXO3, halic acid, halic. So it is what again? Uh, uh, Fluoric acid, chloric acid, bromic acid, iodic acid. And for the general formula HXO4, perhalic acid. Accordingly, perfluoric acid, perchloric acid, perbromic acid, periodic acid. Generally I told. Okay. But here only one important point you have to remember. Fluorine forms only one acid, hypohalous acid, hypofluorous acid. Other acid for fluorine is very difficult. The reason is it is highly electronegative, okay, small in size, high ionization enthalpy, and no d orbitals. Okay, so it want to lose electrons, but after losing electron, accepting is there. No, accepting that is the problematic. Okay, so after losing, so it becomes small in size. On the small size, we can fix only a few atoms on fluorine. We cannot fix more. It cannot take that load being a small in size, and it is a like a congested or what we feel in Bangalore traffic jam. No, in small road, suddenly 50 cars comes. No, it's very difficult. So we have to wait and go like that. So small size cannot hold many atoms. That's why, except in the case of fluorine, all other forms, though I have left a gap in the case of bromine, and then they will form. To some extent, lifespan is less, they will form. But in the case of fluorine, forming other HXO2 type, HXO3 type, or HXO4 type is impossible or difficult. It is because of what? Small others, at least they will form. I have shown only the stable form on the table. Other forms are there, so life is very short. Okay. But in the case of fluorine only, it is because of what? Small size which cannot sustain the load. So we can't accommodate more than fluorine size on the head of fluorine comfortably. So that's why there are some reasons in space. So because of that, that is not possible. That's why I put dash. Okay, right. So remaining you go through practice their structure. Okay, right. So this all I told. Hmm. So here fluorine has a very small size and high electronegativity. Therefore, it forms only one oxo acid, that is HOF, which is known as what? Fluoric acid or hypofluorous acid, and other forms as usual. Okay. So in the plus one, plus two, sorry, plus three in the order, because they will lose one electron, then the remaining two electrons from the next p orbital. All those will happen. So accordingly, they will go for the plus 1, plus 3, plus 5, plus 7. Highest is 7 because they have 7 outermost electrons. Okay, right. Now please see this one. Structures of the oxo acids of hallucin. Okay, so taking the chlorine as an example. Taking the chlorine example, I have drawn 4 examples. Okay, other examples are not there for your syllabus. So fluorine also is not there. Only chlorine because it's the in between, neither at the bottom nor on the top. So moderate, it is a very friendly halogene. So therefore, we have taken examples for what? Oxo acids of especially the chlorine. All the 4 oxo acids of chlorine. Hypochlorous acid, chlorous acid, chloric acid, and perchloric acid. First is what? Hypochlorous acid. That is HOCl or HClO. You can write in any form, but H you should in the beginning only. Okay. So HO. What are oxo acids? Once again, I'm reminding you. Oxo acids are acids which contain hydrogen. Okay, and in turn it has got link with what? O. This point. This is which point? This point you concentrate. This is the oxo acid area. So from this area, they give out this proton. So they are the proton donor according to the Lowry and the Bronsted theory. So they are acid, right? Okay. Now next is what? Chlorus. This H can be replaceable. This OH is very important. Okay. So among the two O, this O is most important because this O will help to in the removal of this H. Okay. So chlorus acid, chloric acid, HClO4. HClO4. Hmm? So, which part is important? This part is important. This part is which part is important. In the same way, perchloric acid. So, O will have triple double bond with chlorine and one single bond here. Okay. So, accordingly, so one OH group is here. So, this is responsible for the acidic property. Okay. So, OH, OH, and OH, and in general, oxo acids of halocene, and these are oxo acids of chlorine. Right? Same thing I wrote in the form of table summary. Hmm? So, hypochloroic, perchloric, same. Taking the example of what? Chlorine. Hmm? Now, next important small topic is what? Interhalogen compounds. Interhalogen compounds. So, among themselves, interparticle distance, okay, interhouse competition, hmm? Interhalogen compounds. Halogen to halogen, both are electronegative, hmm? But they will compromise. Again, chemistry means what? Compromise. Chemistry means what? Conditions. So, but for the fluorine, no conditions. Okay. If it is a iodine and the fluorine is the most electronegative. So, fluorine becomes the negative part, iodine becomes the positive part. In the case of chlorine and the fluorine is second. So, chlorine becomes the positive part, fluorine becomes the negative part. It is the fluorine always becomes the negative part only in the odd cases and the extreme cases. Okay. Fluorine behaves differently. Otherwise, 99.99 it is negative part only. Especially in the case of interhalogen, it is negative always, 100% I can say. Okay. Because other halogens are less electronegative compared to fluorine. Therefore, fluorine plays the role of negative part. That is the right part. So, whenever we write a formula, So left part and the right part. This we have made a what understanding are the rules, are the regulations, are the conventions we have made, symbols we have made, formulae we have made. So NaCl, Na is the plus part, Cl is the minus part. CaCO3, Ca is the plus part, CO3 is the minus part. So in the same way, in the case of interhalogen compounds, least electronegative, less electronegative, means it is having some electropositive character. Okay, so that becomes the positive part, and the most electronegative becomes the negative part. Okay, so that's why generally they are called as what, XYN. Okay, X is what, least, Y is most electron. Both are halogens. Both are halogen. Okay, and here it is made clear. X is halogen atom which is less electronegative and larger in size, whereas Y is halogen atom which is more electronegative than X and smaller in size, uh, compared to all those parent atoms. Okay, so accordingly XYN is made. This XYN is the general formula for interhalogen compounds for the OS 1, 3, 5 and 7, depend upon the requirement. Okay, right. Here are the examples. Here are the examples. Okay. IF7, IF5, ICL3, ICL, IBR, BRF5, BRF3, BRCL, BRI, CLF3, CLF, all are interhalogen compounds. So accordingly, you use the word mono, di, tri, and a halogen name, and then you name it. So here 7 are there. No? So hepta, iodine hepta, fluoride. Okay. So iodine pentafluoride, iodine trichloride, iodine chloride or iodine monochloride, iodine bromide, bromine pentafluoride, bromine trifluoride, bromine chloride, bromine iodide, chlorine trifluoride, chlorofluoride, like this. Okay, so you can name by keeping in mind all those Greek literature, but the first part is the plus part, next part is the negative part. Okay, you can see example in the ICL. I is the less electronegative and Cl is the more electronegative. So Cl became what? The right part and I become the left part. But in the case of fluorine, Cl is the left part. Okay, depend upon the difference in the electronegativity. Here it is the right part, here it is the left part. Same chlorine. Depends upon what? Depend upon the difference in the electronegativity. Okay, right. How they are prepared? They are prepared by the direct combination because they have to combine themselves. Okay, so it is the direct combination of halogens. So under some conditions, because it is halogen only reacting to the halogen, no, so therefore they require some strong condition. So strong conditions are applied here, temperature, pressure, sometimes catalyst also you can make use, so that reaction becomes a bit fast and yield is also in good condition, and all those required conditions if you maintain, you will get whatever you want. All those what you will get, all those uh, interhalogen compounds. Okay, right. Now this is the textbook diagram table I have taken, because in the textbook he has given beautifully, hmm, very beautifully. So what type of interhalogen it is, and under that category what are the examples? Okay, what are the examples? Okay, then accordingly their properties. Okay, and structures are given. Some important structures which are there for the syllabus they are given here. Okay, so but don't practice all those. Only some important structure you have to practice. Okay, some important you have to practice. One minute, excuse me. ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅದೇನೋ ಇಮ್ಯುನಾಕ್ಸ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಆಮೇಲೆ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರಿಗಂದು ಸರ್ ನಾ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಯಾರ ಸರ್ ನಿನ್ನೆ. ಹಾಂ, ಹೌದೌದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು ನೀನೇ ಇದು ಆಯ್ತು ಮುಟ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ? ಓ ಹೌದು, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಆ ಏರಿಯಾದಾಗ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ನೇ ಕವರ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬೋರಿ ಜಿಯೋ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟಾಗಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದ ಪಟ್ನ ಇಮ್ಯುನಾಕ ಫೋನ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂದೆ, ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರು. ಅದೇ ಸರ ಅದು ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಗೆ ಅಂದೆ ಕಳಿಸಿ ನಾ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಬಿಟ್ರು, ಪಟ್ನ ಕಳಿಸಿಬಿಟ್ಟೆ, ಮುಗಿದೇ ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಮುಗಿದ ಕೆಲಸ. ಹಾಂ, ರೈಟ್ ಸರ್. ಹಾಂ ಹಾಂ. Thank you very much. Because sometimes certain, okay, right. After this table, now this is what uses part. Use part. See, you will wonder where exactly you'll use all these components. Why you have to prepare? Okay. See, human beings, they keep trying. Okay. So they keep conquering. They keep thinking. They will not keep quiet. Okay. Take for example our corona situation. He will not keep quiet. Okay. Some other ways you'll find out. Some other methods you'll find out. So that will approach each other. So like that. So what is the use of interhallogen compounds? Why you have prepared? They have got many uses. Okay. So the first and the foremost use of interhalogen compounds is what? Is they act like a non-aqueous solvent. Already we have seen many solvents. Water, the best solvent. Water, universal solvent. Benzene, acetone, they are all organic solvents. But this is a special name is given. Huh? So they are called as what? Non-aqueous. That means in place of benzene and acetone, they are the substitutes. They too play the role of what? Solvents. So there are certain chemicals because both are halogen, they are very strong. So certain chemicals are made to dissolve in these interhalogen compounds. Okay. So therefore, interhalogen compounds plays very important role as a non-aqueous solvent, no water touch at all. So absence of water separately they are dealt in that solvent, they are treated then separated. Okay. So the first and the foremost is what? Special category as a solvent, they find application in the industrial chemistry, plus in the purification also. Certain interhalogen compounds react with certain chemicals only. They will not react all. It is a property part, no? So one best example I have taken here, what? This what? Uranium. What is the question here? So ClF3 and BrF3 are used for the production of UF6 in the enrichment of uranium 235. Uranium 235 is extracted from its ore pitch blend. Okay, it is U2O3. So it is not available in large amount in India. In other countries it is available. Okay, but in India it is available. That too is available in Karnataka. We are lucky. Okay, but only thing is we don't know the method how to extract. We know the method, but still the work is under research level. So in Karnataka, especially in Gulbarga, near Surapur, we have the deposits of the uranium. It is BARC has given the survey report. So only thing is you have to go to that site, you have to take out the sample and the percentage you have to check after finding the percentage. So if it is really the large amount of uranium is available, then uranium factory will come in future in Karnataka. Okay, so where we convert nuclear energy into useful electrical energy and for the defense purpose. So in future, what all plans will come in Karnataka, we don't know. But there are some reports from the Baba Atomic Research Center, Bombay, that in Karnataka, uranium deposits are available. Report is there. Only thing is you have to go and find out. Right? Right. Now, that uranium is extracted from what I told. It's ore pitch blend U2O3. So there are three steps in the metallurgy. Okay, concentration of an ore, reduction of an ore, and refinement of a refining of a metal. These three. So in the second step is there, no? That is the reduction of a metal. Okay, where we convert ore into metal. There, we here also we do the same thing. In the second step, we convert the U2O3 into the U. So once we get to the U, that U will contain some impurities. Okay. So to remove the impurities associated with the uranium, interhalogen compounds will come into the picture. So they are mixed with the what impure. Impure is not 90% pure only, 10% impurity is there. To that we add interhalogen compounds, especially that ClF3 or BrF3. Okay. So they will react only with impurity. They will not react with uranium. It's a property, no? So depending upon the property only we use the suitable chemical. So it is because they have affinity for the impurities. So the moment we add the interhalogen compounds to the reduced pitch blend, it will take out the impurity leaving behind uranium. Or what happens? It will react with the uranium, converts uranium into UF6. So you can go by two way. Either take the interhallogen compound in such a way that will react with only impurity, or you take such a interhallogen compound, it will react with only uranium, leaving behind the impurity. But here I have taken what? Here I have taken ClF3, BrF3, which is reacting with only uranium, leaving behind impurity. That means from the reduced pitch blend, these two are added. They will react with what? Uranium, so that uranium is taken out in the form of uranium hexafluoride. Then it is separated in the second step. Okay, when you decompose uranium hexafluoride, uranium separates and fluorine separates. Okay, so in this way, interhallogen compounds will play some important role. Okay, so first what, as a non-aqueous solvent, and as a reactive species, especially as a fluorinating, as a halogenating agents, because they will give fluorine, they will give chlorine, they will give halogen. So all the halogens are taken from the interhallogen compounds, so they act as a halogenating agents. Okay, so third what, especially for the radioactive uranium. So interhalogen compounds plays very important role, where it is made to react with what? Uranium only, and uranium is separated, and afterward it is decomposed. So all these steps we do in the industry. Ultimately our aim is to get as much as possible pure chemical. And to know whether the chemical is pure or not, we do what? Some techniques like melting point or the boiling point. All those checks are there. So after doing all those checks, finally it is certificate is given by the quality control department, Q and C. So when the certificate is given that it is pure and allowed to sell in the market, then it is sold in the market. So all these checks are done at the several levels. Separate departments are there in the industry. So finally, and for all this, they want a chemistry hands, MSc or PhD hands. So many job opportunities are there in the field of chemistry. Only thing is, you have to have a knowledge up to second PUC or the +2. Then you go ahead with your interest. Okay. So I think I concluded the 16th group among the four groups, 15, 16, sorry, 17th group, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. So in the tomorrow session, small group 18th, noble gas 0 or 18th, that is discussed, and we'll wind up. So I think tomorrow, at the most one more day, we are going to wind up the P block elements, and directly we'll go to the solid state 1 week, and the one more chapter the second week. So by 13th of October, syllabus for the first term is going to complete, and remaining time is for revision or the doubt clarification. So till then, let us not waste a single minute. We already term 1, term 2 syllabus is out. So I am very extremely thankful for our friend Ayan Singh, who is doing wonderful work in terms of syllabus, in terms of term wise, and he has even posted the KV study material. So lot of work is done by the Ayan Vikram Singh. Therefore, so the entire batchmates, they are all thanks to Vikram Ayan. So let's make that KV material plus a textbook plus your notes, our notes, discussion, everything ready for the term 1 examination. Till then, don't waste I was using the word single minute, now I'm using single second. Every single second counts this year. Okay. So soon after the class hours, afternoon, have a relax, take rest, and evening time, keep studying. Till then, have a nice time. Tomorrow we'll meet once again. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.